saw it yourselves. Have to knock those two out, or they'll find you one way or another. Of course, once you're in the painting, less to worry about. Hello, outsider.
You have many talents, Daud, and they've served you. Delilah's talents are quite different. She creates images, but she does more. She captures spirit. She insinuates her will into her subject, whatever it is. We're witnessing her masterpiece, and perhaps yours as well. I gave you Delilah's name, and you followed it to this moment. You see now what hangs in the balance. Emily's life, Delilah's ambition, an empire in the act of crumbling. In your long life, I've rarely seen you act with such consummate grace. I give my marks sparingly, and I don't play favorites, but I will watch this with unusual attention.
So there you have it. Before we jump into the yawning hole of despair there, we'll take a time to talk about a couple things. The first thing is that there is actually nothing in this room, and you can't leave. That is still blocked. The door up there, still blocked, so there's no other way out of this room but down. The second thing I shall talk about is a book that you can find elsewhere in the house, which I didn't get, because I think it's in one of those upstairs hallways where I didn't bother going into because too many witches. That says something about when Daud kidnapped Emily, Delilah feared that he knew about her plans, but then he gave her over to the Lord Regent and their other conspirators, and she was relieved that no, Daud knew nothing about that. That would be why Delilah came after Daud, quite apart from the outsider knowing her name and giving it to Daud, and Daud being on her trail. So she was like, oh crap, Daud might be he might be trying to stop me, he might know about all my plans. Oh no, wait, no he doesn't. Oh, but now he's hunting me down. Well then. So that at least answers the question of why Delilah cared so much about killing Daud off in the Knife of Dunwall. And with that out of the way... Oh, well, okay. Not what I planned to do, but suitably dramatic anyways.
The void. Time to see what you've really got, Delilah.
This is the last section of the level, and you can see more statues. These ones are a little more dangerous than the other ones, as those witches back there mentioned. There's Delilah. Those ones, if they see you, will actually turn into copies of Delilah and try to fight you.
This narcissist.
The others, in the overworld, they just, you know, kind of alert the others to your presence. These ones actually try to fight you, and they alert Delilah, and then she tries to fight you, and so you have to fight like 7 of her, and it's somewhat terrible. Yes, Delilah, we know. You just do your thing there. And I will come over here, and oh, look at all these nice little paintings that you've painted. Oh, look!
Would
A tree.
any painting work for Delilah's ritual? I wonder, this painting might be useful.
Yes, Daud, any painting will work. There's another statue of Delilah there.
I made my brushes from the hairs of your own scalp.
Which also explains what Delilah wanted with the hair.
You cannot ignore me. My power is too deep. My reach too long.
So I'll come over here. She can't see me over here. And now she's focused on her altar as well.
Paint. Brush touches canvas. Brush touches void. And now I see you, Emily Caldwell. I breathe your breath.
You can see we're starting to get the purple filter of doom over, well, pretty much everything. However,
I feel the cold.
no time for that, Delilah. One last case of gratuitous time stop abuse.
Of the ruin where you sleep, and the stink of
And a quick blink up here where nothing could see me. You can see that's done some very strange things to the painting. Paint flowing off, and man, that reminds me of, oh jeez, what was that movie called? It was like this, I think it was Disney, but no, it probably wasn't Disney. Anyways, I think it was called The Page Master or something like that. Bit of a weird film. Pretty good though.
My fear. You are becoming mine. We are nearly finished. Close your eyes, Emily. Sleep forever. Feel the void.
Oh, there's a set of notes on that as well.
Make room for
You can
me.
kind of see those there.
Give in to me,
Maybe if,
Emily.
yeah, see more so if I do that.
Me now. Paint flows.
You can't actually read that one though, as far as I can tell. Daud just says something about it being Delilah's notes on the ritual, and you can't do anything with that. But
You've lived in these bones long enough, sweet young girl. It is complete. I am... What's happening? This is all wrong! What am I becoming? Outsider blood? Is this some trick? Daud!
hope you like being a tree, Delilah. The other option is, of course, to kill her, which I'm not doing, because it's complicated and annoying. Oh, I missed one of the corrupted charms this time through. Can't remember where that one was. Found them all the last time through. Missed a whole bunch of money, too. In any case, before I go on here, I really like that the non-lethal options in this game are often somewhat more horrible than just outright killing people. There's a sense of terrible poetic justice in some of those, especially in the main game. And Delilah is no different. She wants to go about messing with crap like that. Well, hey, let's stick her in a tree for eternity. Trees live a long, long time. And since that particular tree existed in the void, well, it's probably going to live longer than even a normal tree, because it's not going to get cut down or anything. So, yeah. Hope you like eternity stuck in a tree on a floating island. Just one last thing now, before we go.
No one will ever know exactly what it took to save Emily Caldwin from a living death as Delilah's puppet. No one except the outsider, who watches everything and thinks his own dark thoughts and speaks to few in any generation. I've learned that our choices always matter. To someone. Somewhere. And sooner or later, in ways we can't always fathom, the consequences come back to us. I came from Serkonos to Dunwall as a
They
boy.
really like this image.
Made my living as a killer. One of the few who've heard the outsider's voice. I murdered an Empress, but saved her daughter, who will one day rule the Empire. Those were my choices. I'm ready for what comes.
But are you, Daud? And here we see something that we didn't see in my main playthrough of the main game.
A surprise for you. I asked for my life. When I killed your Empress and took her daughter, something broke inside me. Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing.
Also, can I just say, Corvo is a scary bastard.
Make your choice.
You make an eloquent plea for a man with innocent blood on his hands. It's a shame Corvo doesn't know the real story, isn't it? How in these last days you passed through Coldridge Prison like a shadow, dared the tangles of Dunwall's underworld, and walked out unscathed, outwitted one of the greatest witches in a generation, all with consummate care and skill. How you saved Emily Caldwin, daughter of the Empress, first of her name, and no one will ever know.
Except for
How
Daud.
does it end for Daud,
And the outsider.
the hired killer, the murderer, the savior of the Empire? It's up to Corvo now.
Brings up another thing. I kind of wonder if in the High Chaos ending of the main game, Daud fails here. If you've seen the High Chaos ending, you'll know what I mean. But that's it for the Brigmore Witches. Corvo has forgiven Daud and spared him. We've seen, finally, that really interesting speech that Daud gives. This time from his perspective instead of Corvo's, because you only get that one if you actually fight Daud, which would require being seen, which, well, goes against my rules. Unfortunately, you do miss things like that if you go through the games like this, so I kind of recommend going through him, well, on your own time, in your own way, and maybe seeing a little bit more of what the game has to offer than what I've shown off here. Thus ends the story of Daud. I actually really hope they do more with this setting. There's some really good ideas here, some really cool stuff, very, very interesting things. And quite aside from the general lack of stealth games on the market, there's a few, but not very many AAA titles. We've seen so very little of this setting, and there's a whole lot more that we could go and see. And I hope to someday do that. I believe they're going to be working on a sequel for this. I think it did well enough to warrant one. I'm also wondering if I should go ahead and get Dunwall City Trials, just to have a little bit more of, well, Dishonored in general, although that's more of challenge missions, and I'm not sure I'd be too much a fan of those. I kind of like setting my own challenge. In any case, that's kind of all I've got to say about this. We've seen the credits a few times already. I don't know if there's anyone different in here this time through, but there is something at the end of the credits that I would like to wait for. So we'll go ahead and wait for that. Although given all the different language translations of this game, it may take a little while, so there's a lot of different people who worked on alternate language versions of this game, just doing the voice acting and all of the translations and stuff, and takes up a lot of credit space. Also, the music here isn't anywhere near as good as it was in the main game. No offense to the sound designer, but Honor for All was a really cool song. So we'll wait for all the English credits to go by, and then I think I'll just skip right to the end. I didn't use any of the alternate language stuff anyways. Okay, there we go. We started to get into the French stuff, so I think it's safe to go ahead and see that in the end, Daud visited the grave of Jessamine Caldwin one last time to hang up his sword, pay his respects, and move on with his life. There is an achievement for this called Coin Enough to Disappear, or something like that. You have to finish it on low chaos with 10,000 coins, which is a bit of a trick, because I think that means you have to go through Knife of Dunwall and this game very, very limited on the upgrades that you purchase. You might be able to manage it with just the Brigmore Witches, but I don't know. In any case, that's a thing for another time. We're finished up with the Brigmore Witches at last. And until next time, this is Destro, signing off.